It's not even 9 o'clock, and there's a lot of love here. Hung up the phone. And the phone starts ringing again like crazy this time. Ringing off its hook. Stan, get out. Get out for what? Stan, we don't have the time. You're not logged on to the computer. No. You're not watching the news. No, you're not. Stan, come on. We don't have the time. Now, if you tell me why I need to get out, I will go. I'm a logical-minded person. There's a young lady from Chicago calling me from one of our rep offices. She's home. She's watching the news. She knows what is going on. And the people who call me, my parents, my mother, that is, and my brothers, never told me what is happening. All they were asking me was I was okay. Stan, we don't have time. Please get out. Where I sat in the office, if I was to look an angle to my right, I could have seen the Brooklyn Bridge, Statue of Liberty, Silver Rung the Chair, Jersey City. Spectacular view. We were told that if you drop a penny from the observation deck, it would have the same effect as shooting a .38 at point-blank range. Cars and trucks and buses looks like little matchboxes. On the 81st floor, when you stand there and you look on the ledge, you can see planes fly around on the same altitude. That's where I work. You're on top of the world. The Trade Center. The World Trade Center. And standing up with the phone in my hand, and I just happened to look towards the direction of the Statue of Liberty, and something caught my eyes. It's a little plane. And within seconds, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and that plane is coming towards me, eyeball to eyeball. And as I realize what is happening, I can hear that revving sound that the engine is making, and the plane starts to tilt. And I'm seeing this whole spectacle, a giant gray aircraft, you on the tail. That's United Airlines 175. And the plane is coming towards me. I dropped the phone, screamed, dove under the desk. And I says, Lord, I can't do it, you take over. That's all I can remember saying. Don't know why I said it. And it was the most thunderous sound I can ever explain in words. I can never verbalize. Bam! The plane slammed into the building. Upon impact, all the pulverized cement just went and just stuck onto my skin. It looks like a demolition crew came and just ripped the place apart. All the walls and everything was flattened. And the only desk that stood firm was the one that I'm hiding under. My Bible was on top of that desk. Upon impact, the floor above me caved in. And I'm surrounded, covered sort of, up to my shoulder in debris. The plane wing, the bottom wing when it came in, somehow or the other, the bottom wing is stuck in the office door, 20 feet from where I am. And it looked like somebody took a giant bag of cement and just threw it in the air. The sprinkler system came on, and all that cable that was hanging loose in the ceiling just dropped, and they're short-circuiting. If that plane don't blow up and kill me, well, this floor is going to totally collapse and crush me. And if the two of them miss me, well, then I'll get sucked out by the air pressure. Or I'll get electrocuted. I'm going to die one way here or the other. And I'm screaming, Lord, I don't want to die. Please send somebody, anybody to help me. And the Lord heard the first time. And within seconds, somebody at the other end of the floor had a flashlight and was shining it over the head. He couldn't shine it straight through because one lousy sheetrock wall stood firm. Why that one sheetrock wall? And even though I'm screaming, Lord, please send somebody. I don't want to die. What is going to befall my wife? Who is going to pay all these bills that we incur? Who's going to walk Stephanie down the aisle when she gets married? Lord, please. And even though this man is responding, I couldn't hear because I got temporarily deaf. And I'm able to push all the debris, one away. And I try to stand up and realize that my head is touching that floor. And I was scared that it was going to totally collapse and crush me. And I start to crawl as fast as I could. Wait for me, don't leave me here to die. I crawled all the way. One floor was like 1 acre square. From the loans department to the lounge, into the computer room, to the communication room, and that's as far as I could have gotten. Can't go further. And as I got closer to that wall, this person who's behind the wall, he says, bang in the wall, I'll know where you are. And I'm hitting the wall. The man said, I can hear you. He says, now, climb over the wall. I can't climb over this wall. By this time, I'm covered in blood. 90% of my body is black and blue. And I'm swollen. The man says, I want you to think about your children. Think about your family. Climb over and I'll catch you. There's a 10-foot sheetrock wall, a dry wall. And it had a hollow part of the ceiling. He says, you jump over, I'll catch you. And he was standing on top of some debris on the other side. And I jumped the first time, tried to grab on, and I missed. And part of the ceiling caved in. And trying to prevent from hitting me, I raised up my hand, and a black sheetrock screw just went straight through and got stuck on the other side. So now I'm in worse shape than before. When I winced, the man said, what happened? I said, a nail is my palm. He says, bite it out, try again, but you have to think about your family. You have to go home. I can't do it. And I couldn't breathe because of all that jet fuel. And I didn't know what it was at the time. I thought it was like sulfur in my head. I'm crazy. And I'm down on my knees and I'm crying out to God. This God that I heard so much about. That if you call with all your heart and mind and body and soul, He's going to hear and intervene on your behalf. That's the God I was calling out to. Lord, if you want me to die, why didn't you let me die right there? Why did you bring me all the way here? Joshua asked that same question. Joshua 7:7. Why did you bring us across the Jordan to be slaughtered by the Amorites? And I'm asking that question, Lord, if you wanted me to die, why, Lord, why? And I'm crying out to God. And this man who was behind that wall thought I was crazy. All I was doing was having a private moment with my God. And I got up. And I looked at that wall. And this wall did not possess a challenge anymore. I hit against a piece of wood that was attached to the nail. The nail came out. And his hand had all ballooned. And I made a fist as tightly as I could. And I'm watching this wall and I'm caressing it. And this man couldn't hear anything at this point. He thought I was crazy. And I said, just pray for me. This man reminded me in CNN that I asked him his religious convictions. He said he was a churchgoer, never missed a Sunday service. And I said, pray for me. And I looked at that wall and I took a swing. Made a tight fist and I took a swing. As hard as I could. I dabbled around a little bit with White Tiger Kung Fu and Kempo over the years, but still can't break a piece of board. And I said, Lord, just give me the strength. And all I remember doing was like this. I punched as hard as I could. And with the first punch, my fist passed right through that sheetrock wall. What are the chances for you to punch like this and your fist go through that wall? And the man grabbed my fist. He said, I see your hand. I said, when you see my head, just yank my body through. Bam! The hole got bigger. And I jumped the second time. Grabbed on top, struck my head, and he gave me a headlock. And he pulled with such force. I flew over the other side. Knocked the man over on top of the debris he was standing. And together we just hugged each other. And we rolled down. And we are now on the 80th floor. I reached down, grabbed the man around the neck, gave him a kiss on the cheek. He said, what are you doing? I don't know how to thank a man who just saved my life. He says, Brian Clark. I said, Stanley Praimnath. And this man held my hand. And he stared me in the eyes, Dr. Wood. And he told me something that I'll go to the grave with. He says, all my life, I live as an only child. I was born and raised in Canada. I always wanted a brother. And I find that person today. And he says, come on, buddy, let's go home. And I cried, and I cried. And he had his hand around my shoulder. I had a large leg wound, and I started to hobble. And we walked down 1,620 steps. You had to walk 10 flights of stairs, stop on a little landing, make a little turn, not a 10 flight of stairs, then you cover one floor. And we stopped on the 46th floor, and I couldn't breathe. And we stopped. When we stopped there, there's a man lying down. And every night before I sleep, if you want to know, I would see this man, I would hear him crying. I saw this man in the building, don't know his name. He had a closely shaved head. It's an Italian guy, I'm sure about this. and there's an African-American security guard. The two of them are standing up. Well, the security guard is standing up, and this man is lying down. Broken back, massive head injury, covered in blood, and he is crying. Please tell my wife and our baby that I love them. And he is crying out. And the security guard could have escaped, but he chose to stay. And he guarded this man with his life, and they both perished. All those people who came up in the elevator, they were gone, one shot. Never saw them back again. Send some help. And we continued walking, and we reached the ground floor. When we got there, the only people we saw were the firefighters and cops and the EMS workers. And these good men were cheering us along and telling us to run to Liberty. Liberty Street, that is. Today's total freedom. That day was only a street. Run, 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 go, go, go. And Brian and I, hand in hand, we were running. Don't look up, don't look around. Just go for it. And all those broken glass you saw coming down there, looks like confetti. Not one piece touched us. And we are running. It looks like a scene from Forrest Gump. And the people are cheering, go, go, go. And Brian and I are running, running, running. And I bumped into this priest. He's standing up watching the spectacle like this. And I nearly knocked the man over. And Brian said, do you remember when you did an interview in CBS? Do you remember what you were saying, Stan? No. He said, you were babbling in a language I don't understand. And the priest said, you lost your mind, that you need the hospital badly. And we prayed for you, Stan, we prayed for you. But I remember telling this man, this building is going, and I don't remember what going means. And he said, what you see burning there is all draperies and cosmetic and paper. Steel don't bend. And I told him, I'm going to Trinity Church, right back there. He said, I'm coming with you. That's all I remember telling this man. And as we got to the fence, I'm breathing hard. And I'm telling him it's going. And he slapped me. Come on, Stan, you got to snap out of this. And the building starts to sway. It swayed so much we thought it was going to tilt over on one side. Then went all the way on the other side. And then it starts vibrating. And you can feel it under your feet. You can feel how this ground is shaking. It looks like a little tremor, sort of. And the building starts to implode. And all these people who were up around 3 blocks away, they were screaming every form of expression. Some were praising God, some were cursing, some were screaming. And the ladies were taking out the high heel shoes, throwing it away, and they were running. And what you didn't see on TV was as the building imploded, it created a vacuum. And all that smoke that there was in the cross streets, it started dragging it towards the core. It looks like a giant tsunami is coming through the cross streets. And we were all enveloped. Oh my God, what is happening? And Brian and I got separated from each other. This man who was holding on for support is no longer there. But I had given him a business card. And that's how he was able to track me down later on. I can't get in contact with this man. And I'm screaming for Brian, and he said he was screaming for Stanley, and I can't hear this man. And in my heart, these people are bombing the financial center. My wife, who works over the Brooklyn Bridge, I can't tell you where she works because of security reasons. I was told not to say it. They do all the software update for the stock exchange. I got to go save her. They're bombing the financial area. And I'm running like a crazy man. I just lost it. And I was always scared that if I get angry, I can do a lot of collateral damage. I saw a man driving a 4x4 white pickup truck. I yanked the door open and says, one word from you, you're dead, drive. The man looks at me, thinks I'm Mohammed Atta. He had 1010 Wins News on, and he is driving like crazy. Where to Brooklyn Bridge? Go! And he is looking at me. He reached on top of his dashboard. He says, here, got a white box of cigarette here. Take a smoke. So no, man, I had enough smoke for one day.